Hi, welcome to the makeup and tutorial for session 3 of the 2019-2020 Aberdeen Central High School Professional Development, Google Classroom, and G Suite integration. This is specifically to implement Google Forms as both summative and formative assessments. So what are our objectives? Our objectives today are to understand the efficiency of Google Forms as an assessment tool, describe the role of clear instructions when creating Google Form assessments, and create an interactive Google Form assessment, and then reflect on the implementation of a Google Form assessment in a specialized content area. So much like the other major Google apps, Google Forms can be created a couple different ways. You can just go to, and this is not listed on the slide, forms.google.com. That'll take you directly to kind of the Forms homepage. Otherwise, what we can do is we can get to our Google Drive. We can do drive.google.com and go through that process. Or if we click on the Google Apps with the 9 boxes in the upper right-hand corner, I can click there and then go to Drive. If I go to Drive, then it's going to open up a new tab. And then over in the left-hand corner, I'm going to click on New and then go to More. And then More gives me a whole lot of different options. I'm going to click on Google Forms. And now I have a new Google form. So what are the basic features? Well, we are going to implement this as typically a quiz, but you can use this as an exit ticket. You could use it as simply a class survey. Lots of variety of different things you can use here. So we have the option of creating an untitled or title here. So we're going to use this as example form. Now this is what we are going to title it. And then we can put the form description. This is an example of the capabilities of Google Forms. And now if I click in the upper left-hand corner, because I've already named it, it's already going to update that it's the example form. And from here, what I can do is I can click on Untitled Question. And now I have the option of being able to ask a question. So I could, I'll ask a math question. What is 2 plus 2? Now, this is obviously not how a mathematician would ask this. So maybe I want to go 2 plus 2 equals, and then they need to come up with the answer. So let's give some answers. I'm going to click on option 1. I'm going to click maybe 1. I'm going to click 2, 3, and then I'm going to click 4. Okay, now from here I have a couple of different things. I can change the question variety if I'd like to. I could click right here and I could do checkboxes, drop downs. I could have them upload a file that is then required for that question. I could do a linear scale, all sorts of things. If I needed them to put the specific date and time, I could. I don't, but I could. Oftentimes, if I'm doing a short answer, I'll use short answer or paragraph. So there's lots of different options here. Now, from here, okay, I could insert a picture if I wanted to as an answer. So kind of some neat capabilities. All right. And I can require or not require this to be completed. Okay, so if you've ever taken a survey where it's not required that you answer all the questions. Anytime I do a quiz, of course, I require them to all be answered. I can also click on, I could delete this entire question. I can click on the dots here, and if I move this kind of over here, I have the ability to add a description if I wanted to. So here I could, answer based off of what you believe is the correct answer, somewhere along that line. I'm going to click that off. I could shuffle the option order. So that doesn't reflect here, but when other students open it, when students open it, each student will have a different order of the answers. Okay, now what we're going to do is over here on the right-hand side, we have the ability, we could add a question, we could add a title, we could add an image, we could add a video, and we can add a section. I'm going to click on add a section just so we can see how this works. And here, I already have a title, and I'm going to click here. I'm going to type example form 2. And I can copy and paste from these boxes. So I'm going to highlight that box, come down here, paste it again. Now I can click and add individual questions. Now you might be asking yourself, why didn't I mark a correct answer here? All you're going to be doing is gathering information and data. So what I can do, though, is if I go up to this gearbox, this is all the settings. And I can collect email addresses. I can restrict it to just people who are part of my domain. I can limit to one use. I can allow them to change their answers. And I can allow them to see summaries of how other people have answered. Okay, the presentation itself, I can put one of those progress bars in the bottom. I can shuffle the question order within individual sections. And then you see it says quizzes. I'm going to click on Make Quiz. And what happens now is it's automatically going to do some things. I can release the grade. If it's a multiple choice question assessment, then easily I can hit immediately after each submission. Otherwise, if it's a short answer, what I oftentimes do is I click on later. Now, they're going to be able to see which questions they missed, which questions they got wrong, what are the point values. And now if I go back to general, I probably want to limit this to one response. I don't want them to be able to take this multiple times. And I'll let them see their answers at the end of it. I'm going to click Save. And now from here, you'll see that I have a button that's popped up, Answer Key. If I click on Answer Key, I'm going to be able to click on the answer that's correct. Now, if there is multiple answers that are correct, I can actually click multiple answers. Kind of neat. And then I can also ascribe points. I want this question to be worth 1 point. And then I can add answer feedback. If it's an incorrect answer, then I could say, I could type in a message here to them. I could also give them a hyperlink that helps them maybe find the answer more accurately. Or I could actually direct them to a YouTube video, maybe that I've created and uploaded, maybe that another instructor has created and uploaded. For correct answers, I can do the same thing. So it's a great way to provide feedback, generalized feedback to students. Now let's say I want to create a short answer question, and I'm going to insert an image here. Now I can do a lot of different things. If I have it already, I can upload it directly from my computer. Otherwise, I can hit search. So I'm going to do a question on Andrew Jackson as a history question here. So Andrew Jackson, and then I'm going to put King Andrew. And this is a political cartoon that was made about Andrew Jackson. I'm going to go ahead and click on that one. Okay, it tells me where I found the image. I'm going to click Select. And now you'll see that it has uploaded them. And I can add a question here. Which political party would have favored the view presented in this image? Now, because it's a short answer, they're going to just simply type in this box. I can create an answer key for this. Okay? I can be word for word, and I can add multiple answers here. So I could say the Whigs. I could say Whig Party. I could say the Whig. Whoops. I could say the Whig Party. Now you might be saying, man, that seems like a lot of work. Why do we have to spend that much time doing that? That seems a real foolish way of doing it. Well, after some time, after you've delivered this a couple times, you can see the incorrect answers that students are led to create or write down. And then you can actually then put those in here, and it's going to make your job, your grading, very much easier. I'm going to click all other answers are incorrect. Okay, and I'm going to click on adding a point for this. So you've seen too that my total points for the quiz are updating on top. Now, I'm going to click out of editing the answers. Okay, and again, I can add a description. I can do a bunch of different things. I can also customize this a little bit. I can customize my theme. I could change the color. If I wanted to add a header image, I could do that. If I wanted to change the background color, I could do that as well. And then I could change the font style. They don't have a lot of options for the font style. I'm going to keep it as basic. The other thing that I absolutely love about this is that I can see what my students see. So with this I, it says preview. When I click on this, it's going to open up a new tab. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and now I see exactly what my students are going to see. So 2 plus 2 equals 4. I'm going to click next. Okay, which political party would have favored the view presented in this image? Now, I know the right answers, so I'm going to say Republican. I'm going to click submit. Now, because I have already added all the auto grading and it's set up, I can click on view score, and I can see, hey, I got this one correct. And if I had put any feedback here, it would pop up right underneath. You'll see I can see my grade too. I got 1 out of 2 right. Down here, okay, correct answers, Whig Party, the Whigs, the Whig Party, okay, but I put Republican, so unfortunately I got it incorrect. And if I put any sort of messaging there, I could also show that. Now, if I were to go back, exit out of this box. Whoops. There we go. Exit out of this box. I can click on See Previous Responses. And since I'm the only one that's taken this, it's going to show me how I answered. But if I had 30 students taking this quiz, it would show me all of the different answers in a pie graph, all of the different responses here. So I can see how I'm doing relative to others. This can be good and bad. Obviously, it could create motivation. It could create interest. However, it could also be demotivating and create disincentives. Let's go ahead and exit out of those and go back to my original quiz. Now, if you look on the slideshow here, I have a couple of different things. I can auto grade. I already showed you how to redirect, showed you how to answer shuffle, those types of things. But I can also create auto grading, and that's something I've showed you a little bit. But I can go to responses here. There's 2 tabs, questions, creating the quiz, and then responses. And this is where I can see how people have scored. It gives me the average, the median, and the range. I can also say, I don't want to accept any more right now. I can click and change the message if people try to get to this link. I can say, hey, no, you can't take it anymore. I can look based off of individual questions. So if I had 30 students taking this, I could look and I could say, I could see every question with what all of the students got on it. I can also look at individual quizzes, and it'll have their email address right here. And I can see, okay, they did well on that one. Oof, they didn't do too well on that one. Lastly, in here, you can see that on the slideshow it says Auto Sheets Report. So if I click right here, I can create a spreadsheet, and it's going to say, okay, you want to create a new spreadsheet or add it to an existing. I want to create a new one. And click Create, and it's going to pop that tab open automatically, and it's going to show me the timestamp. It's going to show me the email address, what the overall score was. I mean, this is pretty much a miniature grade book. Okay, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so it gets that entire thing. And this would list out every student with all of their answers. And if I had a 30-point quiz, that's going to be all there. Now, the really neat thing about this is it automatically updates. Once this sheet has been created, it adds new timestamps, new email addresses, scores, and answers as students take it. Absolutely amazing. Therefore, I don't have to go in and manually add them. It automatically does that. If I were to click back onto the Google form, the last one there is Add-Ons. So I can click on the little puzzle piece, and this would be Add-Ons. Now, these are individual community-based creations. You might not have this puzzle piece if you've not included any of these or added these already. There is one that makes all questions required. There is another one that adds form limiter. And what this does is I can set a limit on when this is available for grading. So I can select and say, okay, there's a number of form responses that I'm okay with. I want 15 people to be able to take this. After 15, it needs to close. It's a date and a time. I can say, okay, this test is coming up on Tuesday, and I want it to be done by 1:50 p.m. I can click set, and then I can click save and enable. And what's going to happen is it's going to stay available and open until 1:50 p.m. on November 27th, and after that it's going to be closed. They won't be able to take it. This accepting responses will get ticked automatically, and I don't have to do it. I'm going to disable this just for the sake of I don't want this limiter on there. And then I also have Form Recycler. What this does, and I won't show it to you right now, but you can click in there, and it will actually allow you to use questions that you've used on other tests or quizzes. And I find that to be very valuable if I want to make quizzes that are 5 to 10 questions throughout a term and then add some of those questions to the end summative assessment. I can do that. So if you wanted to add add-ons, what you do is you click on the 3 dots here and you go to add-ons. And this will be similar to the screen that we looked at before. And now I have the ability here's the form limiter. You can see that I already have it. Here's a choice eliminator. It doesn't look like it's got great reviews, but it does show that they get an option to be able to limit the amount of answers or think of it like on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and 50-50 or some of those types of things. You can get email notifications when people submit yours. I mean, there's so many different options available here. You can check it out as another good one. Create one question for items that are in and another that are out. So if they're inside of a category or outside of a category, many different things here. So form scheduler is similar to the one I was using. So there's just a lot of different options available, and I would encourage you to look those through. So I've already showed you many of these different things. You can limit to one response, summary for students. That was all available in the settings button. You can look at new question possibilities. You could insert an image or a video. You could upload a file, a PDF, or insert a Google Doc, whatever you might be. And then the powerful suggested add-ons that I've already listed. So all of that said, the timeline for our next meeting, we have a couple of different things. We need to create a 10-question assessment using Google Forms and submit it to Google Classroom, given the link available. With that, it needs to be content specific. And then I want you to reflect on specific goals and challenges of utilizing Google Classroom, specifically Google Forms, and submit that to the assignment link in Google Classroom. Remember, you can always email me any questions or concerns that you have. And good luck and have fun making your forms.